Once upon a time, in the heart of a quiet African village surrounded by tall palm trees and wide farmlands, the morning sun rose gently over the hills. The sky glowed with soft gold, and the sound of cockcrow echoed from every compound. Women with calabashes on their heads walked the stream. Children chased one another across the red earth, and men sharpened their cutlasses, ready for another day of work in the fields. In this village lived a man named Obinna, a farmer known for his strength and honesty. His wife, Ngozi, had given him only one child, a daughter named Ifunanya. Ifunanya was born in sorrow and hope, for her mother died giving birth to her. The villagers shook their heads, whispering, "Ah, how can joy and tears arrive on the same day?" But Obinna wiped his eyes and held the little baby tightly to his chest. "You are my heart, my Ifunanya," he whispered. "I will raise you with my own two hands. You will grow strong." And so father and daughter became each other's world. Ifunanya grew up not with toys or luxury, but with the earth, the sky, and her father's love. She learned how to fetch water before she could even balance a pot properly on her head. She carried firewood, helped in the farm, and sang to keep her father's spirit high. Her songs echoed across the farm. The yam will grow, the corn will rise, our sweat will feed the land, and the land will bless us. Obinna often smiled at her and said, "Your voice is sweeter than the birds in the forest." As years passed, Ifunanya's beauty began to blossom. Her skin glowed like polished ebony, her eyes sparkled with quiet fire, and her laughter carried peace. The boys in the village noticed her early. Some would hide near the riverbank, pretending to wait for their goats, just to catch a glimpse of her when she came to fetch water. Others would walk past the farm with no purpose, only to wave at her, but she paid them no mind. By the time she was 20, suitors began to flood Obinna's compound. Young men brought palm wine, elders came with yams and kola nut, and wealthy families whispered about joining bloodlines. The elders praised her beauty, calling her a treasure, a jewel whose bride price would bring pride to the family. But every time, Ifunanya shook her head gently. "Papa, I am not ready," she said. "My heart does not yet feel what it should." Obinna, though surprised, never forced her. "A flower must open in its own season," he would reply. But the villagers were not so kind. They gossiped at the stream, mocking her. "She waits for a king, perhaps. Beauty without a husband is wasted beauty. Maybe she has a spirit husband." But Ifunanya ignored them, her heart set on waiting for love that was true. Then one day, fate arrived in the form of a stranger. It was market day, and the square was noisy with bargaining, drums, and laughter. Ifunanya sat quietly arranging vegetables on her mat. A tall man in fine clothes, a stranger from the city, walked through the crowd. His name was Chaik, a businessman searching for land to buy. But when his eyes fell on Ifunanya, he stopped. She was unlike any woman he had ever seen. Simple, graceful, strong. He watched as she gave vegetables freely to an old woman who had no money. "Take it, Mama," she said softly. "Go and cook for your children." Chaik's heart melted. He asked, "Who is that young woman?" The villagers replied, "That is Ifunanya, daughter of Obinna. Many have asked for her hand, but she refuses them all." Chaik smiled quietly. "Perhaps she has been waiting for me." Chaik found reasons to visit Obinna's farm. He joined them in planting, carrying baskets, even laughing with the villagers. Slowly, Ifunanya's heart began to soften. She saw in him no arrogance, only kindness. One evening, as the sky glowed orange, Chaik said, "From the day I saw you, I knew you were different. Your heart shines brighter than your beauty. Will you allow me to walk with you in this life?" For the first time, Iphigenia smiled as suitor. That night, she whispered to her father, "Papa, I think I have found the one." The wedding was a festival. Drums beat until the hills shook. Women danced with rattles on their ankles. Elders blessed the union, and the whole village rejoiced. Iphigenia followed Chait to the city, her heart full of dreams. At first, life was like a fairy tale. Their house was big, their clothes fine, and Chait adored her. But after 3 years, no child came. Iphigenia's smile began to fade. She and Chait tried hospitals, prayers, herbs. Nothing worked. Though Chait comforted her, his family turned cruel. His mother spat bitter words. 3 years, no child? You are a curse, a thief of my son's wealth. His sisters mocked her, calling her barren. Neighbors whispered behind her back. At night, Iphigenia wept alone, her tears soaking her pillow. One day, her father sent a message. "My daughter, come home. The ancestors are calling." Trembling, she returned to her village with her cousin Dees, who tried to cheer her up with jokes along the way. Obinna embraced his daughter tightly. "Do not cry anymore," he said. "The spirits will not let your tears be wasted." The next day, he led her deep into the forest to the shrine of Dibiamatsi, the oldest seer alive. The old man sat hunched, his eyes cloudy but sharp. Before Iphigenia could speak, he said, "Your womb is tied not by man, not by sickness, but by your own hand." Iphigenia's heart raced. "My own hand? What have I done?" The old man's voice cut through the air. "Years ago, in your anger, you buried a mother hen and her chicks alive because they spoiled your farm. You buried life in anger, and now life refuses to grow inside you." Memories rushed back to Iphigenia. She had been only a child when she did it, laughing at her small act of cruelty. Tears poured from her eyes. "I was a child, I did not know." But the seer shook his head. "The earth knows no child. The spirits know no excuse. But there is mercy. If you honor what you buried in anger, if you return life with dignity, your womb will open again." The next day, the whole village gathered to watch, dressed in white. Iphigenia sang with tears, begging forgiveness from the spirits of life. Drums beat softly as she danced around a hen and chick, offering them food before giving them a proper burial. She wept as she placed them gently into the earth, singing, "Forgive me, forgive me, let life return." When it was over, she felt a heavy burden lift from her heart. For the first time in years, she slept in peace. Not long after, Iphigenia discovered she was pregnant. The news shook the family. Even the same relatives who once mocked her now came to beg forgiveness. Months later, she gave birth, not to one child, but twins, strong and healthy. The people called it a miracle. Her husband's family, once her enemies, now wept at her feet. Iphigenia forgave them, her heart too full of joy for bitterness. Her father Obinna danced in the village square, telling anyone who would listen, "This is my daughter, the one who fought sorrow and won." Her story spread far and wide, told as a lesson to generations. Never let anger guide your hand. What you bury in anger will one day bury your joy. But respect, humility, and forgiveness open doors even the spirits cannot close. Iphigenia lived long, surrounded by children, laughter, and peace. Her name remained a song on the lips of her people, a story told to remind all that every action carries a weight, and the seeds we plant, whether of anger or kindness, will surely return to us.